All right, let's go with that. Hello? Is that good? Actually, it's not even Persona 5 music. It's just Persona 5 from my PC. All right, cool. Give me 1 second. This was kind of a mess. This was kind of a mess to set up, like really bad. Like everything kind of went wrong, not only with my internet, but OBS was also not capturing my display, and I had to reboot, and everything bad happened. So give me a moment. Let's see. At least this gives me an opportunity to like kind of show off like the benefits of, or I guess what I've been doing this week, because well, I don't leak it, but I'm live with Vision Pro. OMGs. Oh wait, I forgot the smiley face, the menacing smiley face. Okay. That's another thing, like I'm not an Apple user, right? So I'm not used to using this to copy paste. I'm used to using this. So that's something that like I constantly have to look. It's the only time I have to look at my keyboard. It's like to remember to do that. It's freaking awkward, dude. All right. Now I got to do one more thing. Actually, let's actually, does Siri work while I'm streaming? I imagine it does. Siri, open Discord. Okay, it does. Cool. All right, cool. We're getting like the actual full experience real quick. Okay. Announcements. Oh! God dang it. Let's redo this. I clicked enter on my keyboard. I kind of fat fingered it. No. Yeah, you're seeing when things don't work now too. Wait, did I not delete it? What did I just delete? Oh no, okay, we're good. We're good. That's yesterday's announcement of the announcement. We're almost there. We're almost there. Okay, now we're good. Now we're good. Okay. All right, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. I'm gonna like my own tweet because I'm cringe. Okay. Hi everybody. Oh God. The clover key? Is that what they? Well, I mean, I don't have a clover key on this keyboard, but yeah. Hey everybody. You make my HomePod. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll try not to use the. I mean, I'll try not to use it. We'll see. So this has been a week, right? And as you can see, so normally I don't even have this MacBook. I have not. This is my wife's MacBook. This is not really mine. She uses it every day. I use it today to AirPlay what I'm seeing to the stream and show it to you. So yeah, normally I use my PC that's under here still, and you might notice something. Like there's a PC right here, right? But there's nothing. There's no display anymore. I used to have a giant ultra wide, a 32. Sorry if I'm not close to my mic, you might not be hearing me. I used to have a 32:9 ultra wide. And before I say this, I know I'm crazy, right? I know I'm like ultra enthusiast, crazy VR guy, right? I am. I'm aware of this. I'm totally aware I'm that weirdo. But I've been wanting for a while, VR hardware to hit a threshold where I didn't need a monitor. Because for me, I had because already, if you already have a 32:9 ultra wide monitor, you're already kind of seen as crazy. Like, dude, why do you need such a big monitor? But for me, I really value screen real estate, and just having the visuals and like the actual software UX do that for me at a certain point, I was totally ready to, I mean, I was ready to ditch the monitor almost with the Beyond, but the optics weren't really there to support it very much. And the resolution and like obviously the software experience was not there. Vision Pro hit it for me. It hit it for me. Now, do I think most people will be able to use this as a monitor replacement? No, I'm the crazy VR guy that loves this. I love this. So I want to talk about my week with the device. I've used it for more than 80 hours. Like, I've been wearing this thing for like 10 hours straight every day, sometimes 12 hours. And I know it's like, so originally it was to like prove a point, right? Like, you know, obviously I'm a content creator, right? I should be looking at chat. I don't know why I'm looking at the mirroring. That's probably very confusing. So I'm normally like a very you know, I'm proving a point here. I wanted to use it for as long as I can and see if it actually adds value to my life. But it's gotten to the point where I have enjoyed it to where I kind of don't want to take it off, if that makes sense. Like, I was a person that was kind of like chronically online using my phone or my PC. I'm still pretty chronically online with my PC. I'm not using my phone as much, especially. Now, it is an iPhone, so like it kind of benefits me using this device to have all the iPhone apps, most of them, that I use daily, like Twitter, Discord, and stuff. And just, again, the hardware threshold for that, for me, just kind of hit it on the nail. So I know that's like a really glaring praise thing, and it's weird. But I want to also talk about a few other things, because this is not, I want to talk about why I'm so excited about this device. Like a few things I've been thinking about this week, really. And then I'll talk about some of the other things I've kind of learned while using it. Virtual displays has always been a really cool idea, just mainly the OSs don't really have virtual displays. Yeah, I mean, that kind of segues perfectly to what I want to talk about first, and that's... So I was pretty excited for the Quest Pro leading up to its like launch, right? And I think if you go back to my review, you might feel that review was extremely scathing, right? Like really like people would use the word unfair, right? And I think one reason it was so unfair is I was hyped for it. I really was. Like, I genuinely, the way they were marketing it, like that you could truly do everything in it, and it was like the hardware and the software threshold for it was gonna hit it for me. It didn't hit that, basically. It did not hit that for me. So also I realized this is a bug I run into with auto scrolling stuff. It didn't hit it for me. The software UX was basically a souped up Quest 2, which we all know the Quest OS is still very far away, right? Like like I know Meta's been like showing some tweets of like, hey, you can do all the same thing, right? But if you like spend a week in this device and then you go back to Quest 2 OS and try to do some of the same things, one, the software is not there from a OS standpoint. Two, all the apps, and I think I made a whole video about this last year as well. I complained that I don't care about copyright strike, to be honest. I don't care. I just want to discuss my feelings. If I don't make monetization on the stream, I don't give a crap. But there was no software except for like Horizon Workrooms, right? And Horizon Workrooms did not really do it for me, personally. I did not like the... So to kind of go back to my obsession with SteamVR overlays, the reason why I love SteamVR overlays, and I've made so many videos about SteamVR overlays, is because, to me, I don't want to open a whole immersive app just to do Discord. I don't want to open a whole immersive app just to stream my PC as a monitor. I don't want to open a whole app, blah, 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 blah. Constantly like that, right? That's how I kept feeling. And like the fact that Horizon Workrooms was just like mostly, hey, you're stuck in this app to stream your monitor or your laptop. Music is still loud. Hold on. The fact that you had to still stream that like other device to the headset, it didn't make sense, right? It didn't make sense to me, and that doesn't even count like the visuals were not there yet. Even this. So this thing has got around 3600 by 3200 per eye micro OLED displays. The visuals are fantastic. There's like visibly no screen door effect. You might see a little bit like aliasing once in a while, especially since I set the text scaling to the smallest. I sent the window size and the text scaling to the smallest sizes as I can in the operating system, and every website I open in Safari is automatically a 85 text scale, which is all stuff I can do directly in the settings for this device, which is awesome that I can do that. A lot of headsets I can't do that stuff for. So like I'm kind of like pushing the displays as far as they can. And I think the resolution's close enough for me. It's like almost for me most of the time like a 1440p display. Now, my biggest problem with the displays are actually the persistence. That thing I always talk about where I move my head around and like, you know, the text I'm looking at is blurry. Another reason why I've gotten so excited about Samsung buying that eMagic company to make brighter micro OLED displays. Now that Apple has set a standard for pricing and like has like, this is the worst device they'll release with the worst displays that they'll ever release, I see the next steps. More resolution, but more importantly, more brightness to remove that motion artifacting when I move my head, right? So now, comfort. I do want to talk about comfort. The comfort was bad for me. I don't know if you can tell. So a mod got kind of popular for the Vision Pro community. I bought another solo knit band. And I like 3D print this little adapter so I can have the band that's normally designed for the back of your head also on the top. And I've come to, I think that mod is what allowed me to wear it for so long. Not even because the fabric is comfortable. I like this mod because now both the back and top are adjustable at different lengths because they both have that dial that tightens and loosens. So when I can do that, like let's say after a while, like let's say after a few hours or a couple hours, the back of my head starts getting tired of holding weight. Well, I can loosen the back of my head and tighten the top of my head. And then it's like I keep going back and forth between it to allow me to get that comfort factor that allows me to use it all day, right? I wish, yeah, why hasn't Apple thought of this? I know. The reason why Apple didn't do this, I think, is because they were valuing people's not messing up their hair, the looks of the dice. Because when I wear this thing, people have told me I look like I'm wearing a maid outfit. Like, you know, like the maids like to wear that little, I don't know what it's called, that little doily on the top of their head. People said that it looks like I'm cosplaying as like a maid, right? But if you could use a pulley system, no. So, okay, let's talk about that too a little bit. So, let's talk about the battery, right? The battery has not bothered me at all. So it came out, the details of the battery came out, that this is a very high wattage battery. It's basically like 3 iPhone batteries stacked together and running at a high wattage. More than 36 watt hours. So like more than double the Quest 3 battery, I believe it was. Very big, high power battery. Which is only possible to run the M2 chip, basically, with a battery like this. At least at the level they're doing. The battery in the pocket thing has been great. When I'm at my desk working, which I sold my monitor, I'm doing everything right now in the headset. Whether it's from my PC or directly using the apps on the headset. It's plugged in at my desk, right? Then I need to go make lunch or whatever. I unplug it. I go down, make lunch, wearing the headset. I will show some videos, by the way. I want to show a little bit of videos of like, I've been recording little clips that I can show and tell. It makes sense though. It makes sense. Yeah, it's like 13 volts. It's like a 13 volt battery. It's 43 watts hours capped at 80%. That's crazy. See, and you know, I've obviously been pretty biased because like I've always liked the idea of a processing puck like Magic Leap did. I don't know if Apple will need to do this because another benefit of this headset, and I will talk about the negatives, but like I really want to like express my excitement for this because this is the only standalone device where I've been standalone hardware for me never made sense. I know I'm like a very what's the word? Privileged, right? Like I started in PC VR. I've always believed in high compute to do all the things that you need to do in a VR headset. because VR and AR are very high compute, and it always made very little sense to me to sacrifice so much this early on. And not even just for compute, but for a ton of stuff, right? A ton of stuff. But like with this hardware, and obviously they had to make this trade-off to run this hardware, it's been very powerful. So if I open up like the iPad app of DaVinci Resolve, which by the way, I've never, again, I'm not an Apple ecosystem user. Like I have an iPhone and a watch, but the watch was a gift. I never used the watch ever. I still don't really use the watch except for one thing. So I've never had an iPad. I never really did that much on my iPhone in terms of productivity. So when I see some of the apps on the iPad store already, like this one, DaVinci Resolve, I was shocked about how feature rich this application is. And also exporting on the M2, even on the headset, like editing a full video and exporting here, it was so fast. It was really fast. Like I was shocked. I really, like, again, this is all like kind of new to me. How's it for laying back? I'm glad you thank you for $2 Canadian $2 Polaris. I have slept in this. I slept 3 days, or I should say I've fallen asleep 3 days in this week with the headset on. That's another reason why the soft strap choice is kind of good, because if you do want to like lay down in your bed and watch a movie, that's a thing you can do. There is no iMovie. There's no iMovie. I don't know if it's because Apple is trying to build their own native version, but they don't even let you use the iPad version of iMovie yet. I did look for that. See? They don't let you, they don't give you the option for either version. Can you use mouse to edit? No. I've been using the Magic Trackpad. So, okay. Here's another thing that people are not really like highlighting. Let's talk about input a little bit. Let's talk about input a little bit. So eye and finger tracking, right? That's their main thing. The eye tracking is very good. We all kind of knew the eye tracking is like the best out there for a consumer product, but it doesn't mean that it's perfect every time. I don't have the Apple mouse. But the interesting thing about the dynamic of using your eyes and fingers with other input, like you see I'm using a keyboard, right? I'm still using a keyboard. You still 200% need a keyboard if you really actually want to do work on this thing. Really need it. But I've been using the trackpad, and the benefits of using a trackpad with this device and while combining it with your eye tracking. So like, let's say I look over chat, right? I can see chat. I'm looking at the chat window. I don't have to click anything. It knows I'm in the chat, and then it'll map the trackpad cursor onto the window I'm looking. Let's move over here. It knows I'm looking here, so it maps the trackpad to this window. It knows I'm looking here. It maps the trackpad to this window. It's the combination of inputs that make you feel like you have more control over your computer than if you just had a normal keyboard and mouse. Does that make sense? Like, and then obviously when you go downstairs to make a sandwich or something, you get your hands dirty. That's where the 90% of the time point and click thing comes into use, right? Is it possible to use the persona for live streaming? Siri, open settings. Sorry if I activate your home pods or whatever. No, that's one thing I'm actually kind of disappointed about, and I hope someone makes like an app where I can do that. So normally I just do this when I'm like talking to you guys or wanting to show off the persona feature. By the way, they also had a 1.1 update. Like it's a developer test update, but I'm signed up as a developer. They made the persona scans a bit more accurate. Like, I don't know if you were here in my last stream where I did it live on stream, but the cat ears, when people saw my persona, my first scan, they couldn't figure out what those like triangles sticking out my hair was, because they didn't capture the pinks the pinks of my ears. But now, the scan's gotten good enough to where the pink of my cat ears actually do scan. Right? Does the keyboard typing automatically switch like trackpad? I swear to God, there were a couple apps where it worked. So, okay. Let's talk about keyboard a little bit because I think keyboard is interesting. So this is my Windows PC up here. The keyboard I'm using has a hardware switch inside. So when it's in Bluetooth mode, it connects to my headset. And there's also a little like 2.4 gigahertz, I think they call it light speed mode, I don't remember. Directly plugged into my PC. So when I'm using anything on the headset, like any direct app, I switch to Bluetooth mode. And it, it lets me type there. Then when I switch my Windows PC to do other work or play a game or whatever, I switch to my my PC doing this. Of course, now it's like kind of bugging out because I've learned this morning that it does not like when I it does not like when I'm here's a complaint. Here's actually a good complaint. This headset does not support Wi-Fi 6E. This headset does not support Wi-Fi 6E, which sucks, in my opinion. Yeah. I feel like if it supports Windows 6C, the use case I'm doing here would be much better. I have to use 5 gigahertz. I've also noticed a bug with the Wi-Fi drivers. You see this? So this is the Steam Link application. I've gotten the Steam Link application to look just as good visually as the Mac Virtual Display that's built into the Apple ecosystem. I've tried a few apps related to streaming a PC. I tried the Moonlight, like the Moonlight Sunlight, I believe it's called. That didn't really work out very well. Or it worked, but it wasn't, I couldn't get the quality as good as Steam Link. Steam Link just worked for me. Anyway, but an issue with the Wi-Fi drivers, I can tell they still have a little bit of an issue. Or they still have bugs with it. Over time, the longer I use the headset, I feel like the Wi-Fi performance on the headset decays over time. So like, I'll get this graph. I'm getting this graph right now because I'm doing, I'm streaming the view to the MacBook, which is streaming OBS to YouTube, while also streaming my PC to the headset. But like, even if I'm just like only streaming the PC, if I use it for a long period of time, the Wi-Fi will decay. And I have to restart my headset to like kind of resolve that. So that is one kind of bugging issue. The hand cutout is good. Let's go ahead and switch to a VR view, I think. Oh, I'm at nighttime. Siri, set it to daytime. Hey Siri, set it to daytime. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's a little dark, but Siri, send it to Yosemite. Okay, here we go. The hand cutout's good most of the time. In fact, it's so good that you can usually like do this. Like, let's see. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's like kind of stress testing the keying a bit. Right? I have not tested brightness of this. I will do all that measurements. The reason why I didn't test brightness of this device yet and do a lot of my benchmarking is obviously when I do benchmarking of a device, I usually have like a controlled set of software, and I haven't had that software working because I couldn't connect to my PC until this week. Let's see. So the community's been working really hard, and they've actually gotten ALVR to work. ALVR is basically like a VR streaming, so you can actually stream Steam VR to the device. It's gotten pretty okay, but still not like what I would call very usable. But they've been like really working hard at it and like gotten stuff like the eye, like like all the stuff you would need. It's getting there. So, but the fact that it's gotten to the state where I can actually like open a lot of my apps that I normally would, that's sick. So yeah, I did open VR chat, for example, in the headset. It basically, It basically emulates a Quest 2 when it's set to SteamVR, but still has the full FOV. Virtual desktop, Guy Godin got a Vision Pro. He said he's working on it, but it's gonna take more time. It's gonna take more time. MacBook Air is also Wi-Fi 6. Yeah, but I think aren't the iPad Pros 6E at this point? I don't know. Again, I'm not an Apple user. It's just like a thing, right? How does the 3D feel? So, yeah, let's talk a little more about the pass-through because I think people are very curious. The pass-through is good. It's not mind-blowing, right? It's not like how do I put this? It's better than Quest 3, but it's not like true to life for sure. Like it's still there's still a lot of issues. Like right in my room, I don't know if you can see that, but you see that motion blur when I'm in my room. You move your head around. That's probably my biggest problem with the pass-through. The visuals are good. The scale is good. The only time I run into issues with scale is when you get your hands this close. Or like, or if you try to eat a taco, your brain kind of feels weird because your mouth, it can't figure out where your mouth is. It feels really weird. I took a video, by the way, of me eating a taco in the headset. Let's find it. Yeah, so this was really hard, especially because like look it's getting all over my hands and stuff. But like, you know, I got to test this stuff, right? I'm benchmarking the headset. Yeah. Do you live in the headset? I have been living in the headset. I have, like, again, like, okay, let me start talking about some of my feelings about it. So I want to go back to Quest Pro, right? What I was kind of saying earlier. So Quest Pro, oh, pass-through quality versus XR4. XR4 has better pass-through. In fact, XR3 might have better pass-through. But you can't, you're not mobile. I think pass-through makes a lot of sense in the stability form factor, or the standalone form factor, right? Because again, like, yeah, obviously I'm tethered right now, but I can take this outside. I can go to a freaking Starbucks or whatever. I can bring my phone, record CES content on my phone with my microphone, my little DJI microphone, and then I can airdrop all that files to my headset and edit it in DaVinci Resolve. Have I gone into town with it? That's a good question. So, let's talk about like people walking around with it. So there is something interesting. There is something slightly interesting about that. Yeah. As you can see, I took a lot of clips of it. I don't even remember where. Oh, I guess it's under spatial video. Somewhere around here. Okay, yeah. So I did walk around. This is a spatial video. So walking around this thing is kind of gimmicky. Like, you see all those videos of people doing it right now, and it's really gimmicky. Like, I'm not gonna lie. This is not a device that I can see myself really wearing and, like, walking my dog. I did it just, like, to test it out. But I do want to talk about spatial videos for a second in this, like, point of view sort of way. So I know you can't see it right now because I'm not doing a spatial video. I'm not using the built-in capture function. I'm just screen recording what I see, and there's no smoothing added to that. But for the capture, recording spatial videos, when I was recording this, I was walking, and you know, obviously when you walk and you wear a headset, a head-mounted camera, you notice how much your head bobs up and down while you do it. So I was like, oh my god, is this gonna look like terrible because my head bobbing up and down? But when I play back the video, I noticed that Apple must be applying some really like good optical image stabilization for a feature that I don't think anyone will probably use it for. They just did. And that's kind of like how the device feels to use. There's so many things that are like that, where it's like, I was worried before I got the device. I was excited for what the device was kind of advertising. I wanted something that did what I like about SteamVR overlays, but in like a super polished, useful form factor that I can bring on the go. And when I saw Apple kind of targeting that, that made me happy, right? I was getting excited for it, but I was so scared I was gonna run into that Quest Pro problem again, where I get the device, I start using it, and I'm like, this is useless. This is not useful, right? So I've been happy to say that this device I've only come to enjoy it more the more I've used it, if it made sense. If the Quest had better software, do you think you almost match it? It's not just software though. I feel the hardware is very important too. Like the visuals of this text, I know you can't really see it because first of all, when I'm screen sharing, it's adding foveated rendering. So like you can only see where I'm looking and it's like kind of blurry. But in the headset, the text looks really good. There's like no Mura. There's like almost no aliasing except for like very thin letters, like maybe like an I, for example, like a lowercase I. You need the hardware to match the software, I feel. That's another thing about this device that I was like kind of shocked about. And you can go back to my stream last week when I was like kind of figuring it out. And my stream's 1080p, right? Like all these things. There's so many features in the hardware that's in this device that Apple never mentioned once. And it took people like me and other like very seasoned VR YouTubers to realize they exist. Like, and I'll answer more questions. Sorry, chat. I like to get through my spiels. Like for the eye and face tracking. The eye and face tracking blew my mind when I tested it. Because that was something no one, not even leakers, really talked about much. Like, nothing. And then when I did it, right, you know, I set up my persona and I started doing all the expressions, like sticking out my tongue. Here, let me do it over here so you can see it in the camera. I was like, wait a minute, why is Apple not advertising this? Because this was like the main selling point, one of the main selling points for the Quest Pro, right? The built-in eye and face tracking. They made a big deal about it. Apple just has it in device. It works better than the Quest Pro because the Quest Pro can stick out your tongue, but it doesn't like measure if you're curling your tongue and like moving it. It does none of that stuff. And I think the reason why, and this is why I really like what Apple's doing, even though I freaking think this company is a disgusting creature, they didn't bring it up because they think this is how this hardware should be standardized. They think all the features like this, it shouldn't need to be mentioned. It should not need to be mentioned. It should just be standard for all of the headsets, right? That's how I think they look at this. Headsets should be visually appealing to almost replace a monitor. It should have all the expressions you would want to make to a person if you were communicating them through VR. It should have foveated rendering in like very easy and a fluidity of different inputs. It should have all these things. And if it doesn't have all these things, there's no point to release it. That's how I think Apple sees this, and that's why it makes me excited, because if other companies start meeting or start trying to meet this quality level, we're gonna start eating so good. And it makes me like, I've been wanting this for so long. God, it drives me nuts. Like I wanted this high-end device that did everything, showed people that it can start replacing other devices in your home. And there wasn't really much there. There really wasn't much there. Now, I do miss the controllers a lot of the time. Like, gaming on this thing sucks. I did, my last stream I tried the synth riders, right? The synth riders where you use your hands and they become balls. So you grab these balls and you move those balls around, and you gotta put the balls up against the other balls and like hold them against the rods and keep them there. Yeah, that sucks. The latency of the hand tracking is not good for gaming. It's not good. But I think I've mentioned before that VR gaming has kind of fell out of it for me. And I kind of wanted something like this more for my XR devices than anything. So, anyone? Well, I know the teardowns had to teed on anything. But I've been asking iFixit to, or okay, I've been talking to Karo Gutog, who's also like, it's me, Karo Gutog, and iFixit kind of like communicating in like a triangle. So here's a problem with Apple. When you tear down like a Quest Pro or a Quest 3, it's very easy to ID every sensor in the device. But Apple tends to ask their component suppliers to not ID the things, if that makes sense. So like they can tear it down, they can look at the camera sensors, there'll be no ID for it. It's a very Apple thing. So we don't know, like for example, the 6.5 megapixel cameras, don't know anything about them. Like we don't know who supplied them really. Like, you know, you can look, I don't know. I don't wear contacts. I don't have glasses or contacts at all. The sound's good. The sound's very good. It's very loud for people next to you. Like if I lay in bed next to my wife, I had to either put it to lowest volume or use AirPods. But the sound's very good. The spatial audio is very good. They're probably all. Again, like I just don't know the ID. I don't know like how they're running, all that stuff. Like as good as Index. If it's not as good as Index, it's like close. Like I think it's like maybe matching the quality. It's very so like Index is very different because like they put the speakers directly over your ears, right? Whereas these are still like piping audio, and the audio is still really good, but it's still a different audio experience. I do have them. The AirPods that have the low latency stuff. And for me, I haven't really wanted to use them compared to the AirPods. And by the way, when these things are actually playing audio, they like vibrate. Like I didn't notice it until I put my hands where the speakers are, and they're like they're really powerful. What game would you love to see on AVP? I mean, just VR chat. Like even though I got VR chat to kind of work on ALVR, I would love to see just. Actually, that kind of adds one complaint I have, and like I'm guessing this is a processing, compute problem. So this whole thing, right? This whole beautiful thing that I can do, I can switch between AR and VR at any time, still see my arms and hands. By the way, this is why I think the only reason I've been wanting to use my watch more. This is the only reason I've been wanting to use my watch more. Let me show you. So I switched to AR VR. So I have a widget now. I do have like a little widget app that I downloaded that gives me like these little widgets I can place in my environment. But before that, the only time to see the time was either to ask the Siri or pull up the control panel, which is kind of annoying because when you want to know the time, you instinctively, due to all the other devices that you've used before, always expect the time to be above like a main window or somewhere in your like direct access view. So like doing a whole step to look for the time was really bothersome. But then I realized like, hey, if I wear my watch more, I can see the time because they key in the watch with me, with my arm. It's so weird. It's so weird to look at your arm with the time in like a VR environment, right? It's really weird. It's something I can't really explain. I don't need to know the time that, but I know. But like, obviously, it doesn't have to be an Apple Watch. It's like if any watch you're wearing, it will key in. WebXR does work, but you have to enable the flags in the settings, the experimental settings for it to work, and it's not fully there. Like some things don't work, but a lot of things will work. Another thing that was kind of cool. I'm sorry I'm like raving, right? I'm sorry I'm raving so much about it, but it's just a fun device to use. And like Someone was asking me earlier, like, if they can bring the cost down and cut out features, what would it be? So first of all, I do think Apple will be able to make a cheaper version, but the first thing they need to get rid of if they do make a cheaper version is the outer display. The outer display has been utterly useless for me and people around me. My wife most of the time can barely see my eyes because it's very low brightness. But not just that, when she does see my eyes, she said I look like a jerk. She said I look like a jerk. She couldn't go into explanation, but she's like, Brad, when you wear that thing, like, you just look like such a jerk because of the eyes, like, popping up on my view. So, like, it's ironic that Apple did it to, like, make it more culturally acceptable or, like, whatever. But my wife thinks I look like an asshole. So, yeah. I can't bleep that out, but yeah. Ironic? That's a good joke. That's a good joke. That's a good joke. The PC latency is fine. Again, like my PC's right here. Oh, actually, I should say my PC is plugged directly into my router, here, and then my headset's connected to that router, just like you would do for virtual desktop. So this whole graph again is normally not like this, but because I'm doing all this streaming stuff, it's normally like under 20 milliseconds. Oh, and if you're curious how I'm doing this without a monitor, I bought one of those little dummy plugs. It can support it's an HDMI 2.1 dummy plug. It can support up to 8K, but like super low refresh rate, so that's useless. What I usually do, for gaming, I set it to 1440p at 120 hertz. It looks very good. But for anything else, I can set the display to 4K at 60, and then make the text scaling at like around 175% from Windows, and it looks really freaking good in the headset when I do that. So. Dummy plug. I don't know the name of it. There's a lot of them on Amazon. I didn't pick like a fancy brand or anything. It just worked, right? Reminds me when you use those fake virtual display. Yeah. Well, again, the only reason I did it is because I don't want a monitor. Like, obviously, if you have a monitor already plugged in, you don't need a dummy plug. But Windows does not like... Windows is not built very well to be a headless system, I have learned. It's really, yeah. Yeah. Most important to me, Adobe Final Cut, Photoshop, music editing. There's not many of those apps yet. Again, like I showed off DaVinci Resolve iPad app. For stuff like that, I hope they bring Final Cut to the headset, especially. If they brought Final Cut to the headset, that'd be really freaking good. Because this is a pro device, right? Like, I mean, you can't say it's a pro device without that. Adobe brought Lightroom and another app, but those are not apps I use. So yeah, it's not totally there yet. I hope they bring Final Cut, like, because like, obviously I make videos, right? So obviously, like, my brain is, for my use cases, I think that's important to point out actually. My use cases, obviously, I'm basically like a social media manager, right? You have to have a lot of emails, Discord, Twitter, all that stuff open, and then you have to like have video editing. This device is already like kind of good for that if you want to use DaVinci Resolve, but for like maybe anything past that, you're gonna need an external device, like you're gonna need a PC, right? If you want to do stuff in Blender or Unity. That's a nice cube. Let's kill the cube. Rest in peace, cube. Yeah. My dog does not actually give a crap. My dog is very used to me wearing VR headsets. He's been trained from a young age to always expect me to have something weird on my face. He does not care. He acts the same. Oh, someone mentioned Microsoft, by the way. I do want to kind of mention that. I'm very upset at Microsoft for giving up XR. Because the truth is, like, I know I'm talking about like how it's going to boost the quality level of all the competitors. But like, no one's got the ecosystem except for Google and Microsoft to really take advantage of that I can think of. Valve could do something with Steam, but that would be like still like probably would be Linux based, right? If they did something like this, which I do think they should. Anyway, I'm mad at Microsoft for not doing a HoloLens 3 that's pass-through edition, basically. I know, exactly. Everything Apple is doing in this device is nowhere near first. None of this stuff is new. None of it is new, except the eyesight display, which is the worst thing about it. But they did it all right, and they did it on pass through. They did it on pass through AR, which I think is why this device works compared to HoloLens. I know some people are very like big on like the optical AR stuff, but like, dude, I can't imagine anyone, no consumer, grabbing a HoloLens or any optical AR with current technology and doing any of this stuff. It wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. And like Meta makes good hardware. Like I don't like look, the Quest 3, I got it. The Quest 3 is great hardware. It's a great gaming console. That's kind of how I feel about it. The Quest 3 is a gaming console. It's like a Nintendo Switch. It's kind of how I feel about it. And I'm always very like I never will quite I don't know the path personally for how like obviously I believe Meta wants this. I believe Meta wants a device that can do all of this. I don't know if you've been watching their Twitter recently, but all their Twitter posts have been like, "Hey, we can do this too." And it's like, yeah, you can do a lot of it, but it all sucks. Like it's not a pleasure to use. um but I don't know how they get from like that console, that game console to this. Even if they make the UX much better, they don't have the ecosystem. Because again, like most of all these apps that you're seeing right now, they're not even native Vision OS apps. They're not. These are all iPad apps that work really well on the headset. And Meta needs that, I think, if they really want people to use their devices like this more than anything. So, you thoughts? So I did mention NLVR. It's close, but it's still not there yet. I did sync up my PlayStations with Lighthouse too, obviously. It's not there yet. It's getting close. I'm really impressed by what they did. Is the Apple VR worth it? For me, it was. For me. This headset, it's the only headset. Okay, this is messed up. This is really messed up, and I think it's gonna make a lot of people sad. So before VR for me was a VR chat and Steam VR overlay device. That's all VR was for me 90% of the time. It was basically like spatial computing but in VR chat, right? This week I have not really cared to do any of that. Like I want VR chat still on the platform, but like for me this is what I want. Like again, this is what I want. So yeah, I'm sorry. It's very disappointing because like I know people love when I trash on products, XR products, but I've never gotten so close to my like dream headset. The screen glare, yes. So the screen glare is very powerful when you're like, okay, so let's say you go into the nighttime environment, you watch like an Apple TV or I don't know, Apple TV Plus or something movie. They always shine their Apple TV logo onto a black screen at the beginning of those movies, and then you're like, whoa, you're like, wait a minute, that's a pretty powerful reflection. But most of the time, for me at least, I usually use all the daytime environments, so I haven't noticed. And also, I think I'm also less sensitive to glare than most people because I've used the Index as my full-time daily driver, and there's a lot of God rays and stuff in that. And then I use Beyond, which I'm willing to sacrifice glare and reflections for like other stuff, if that makes sense. So yeah. Imagine this, but the pass-through's even better. Yeah, I mean like that again, this is the worst headset that Apple will ever release, most likely. Like Apple Vision Pro 2, I can see the little things that they can improve already in terms of visuals. Like again, the brightness I think is the biggest thing. They get those brighter displays, push the persistence to be lower. Bam. Bam. And hey, they can still push the resolution, I think. Like again, like I think the visuals are okay. They're great. Like I replaced my monitor with them already, but I can still see a reason why they can push it more. FOV. So I think the wideness of the FOV, I'm gonna measure it now that ALVR works. I'm gonna measure it in my my normal FOV measurement app. Actually, I should do that today. That is very important. The wideness is good. The verticalness is not. It doesn't feel as good. But yeah, it's wide. It's wide at least. I'm gonna measure it with my normal stuff now that ALVR is working. It should work the same way, I think. Actually, if you're curious, so the person that's been working really hard on making ALVR work, their name is Shiny Quagsire. They also were able to capture the rendered FOV of the headset, and they found to be nearly the same as Quest Pro. So even though like the vertical looks different, I think the reason why it does look different is because Quest Pro, like, they render a certain FOV, but they also have the counter rotated displays. So they're rendering around the same FOV as Quest Pro, even if it, yeah. That second strap is ridiculous. I don't care, dude. You think I care about what I look like? I'm home all the time. Dude, you're talking to someone. You're talking to someone who wore this. Who wore this thing. You think I give a crap about what I look like or what's on my face? No. It's about what I see, not what you punks see. That looks good? Okay. I'm a professional weirdo. Alright. Alright, do you think the Samsung Qualcomm will get anywhere near this? I think they will do a pretty okay job. I think there will be a good usability factor. But I think, I'm worried about Google. Because Google is a very smart company. Like, they have very talented people. But the thing is about Google, we all know this, is they dip their toes in and out of the pool way too much. To where I don't know if they can... I think for something like XR, you have to be all in to make something that wows people like this. You have to be all in. You have to have a really good vision of what you want to do, and you have to stick on it. You have to stick to that for years. And if you don't, you're going to either, 1, confuse consumers, 2, make a crap product, or 3, make a product that no one actually will want to use. Meta's had the most commitment for sure. Like, it takes so much for a company like Meta to like burn billions of dollars. But I think also Meta kind of confused consumers because they never stuck to one vision. They just kind of like, they did the route where they like threw a bunch of stuff in across a lot of products and like confused consumers. What is an Oculus? What is an MR? What is a VR? What is a metaverse? Right? Yeah. HTC, you know, HTC has always had good ideas, but like, they don't have the, they just don't have the money or the people to capitalize on it, right? I'm actually worried about companies like HTC. Like, no offense to them, but like, I really think we're gonna see a lot of consolidation in the next few years. I mean, I guess it's not like crazy to say that, right? Like, there's a lot of people that think, oh, Apple released a headset, more people are gonna buy XR Elites. Like that's kind of like the spiel that a lot of these companies give, right? Where the truth is, no, you're probably gonna be overshadowed even more. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, Anakazi's right about yeah, the meta thing. Like yeah. I think Anakazi's kind of saying it right. What do you think about AI? I don't really I don't know. I'm not really into the AI circle. That okay. That's what kind of weirds me out. I'm not a tech bro. I don't think I'm a tech bro. A lot of people think I'm a tech bro because I get excited about this headset. I'm a VR bro. AI doesn't like it's neat, I guess. But it's still not like I still feel AI has been like vastly overhyped for the most part. It's not a scam like crypto was, like the crypto boom, but like it's got value. But I still don't think it's like as amazing to consumers as the industry has put it, if that makes sense. Would you say I'm a VR tech bro? Yeah, I think I probably would say that. I almost wasn't though. Like I was honestly getting so sick of some things in XR. I was getting depressed and sick of things. Like when you're really passionate about something and like things aren't like going the way you hope they would, like it makes you just want to leave that passion. But yeah. Like look, like and I think I'm also like pretty what's the word? Very cynical usually. And like when I go to CES and I see like everything every single thing that said metaverse last year now says AI this year, I get like even more cynical and think like, well crap, I don't know what real AI is anymore. I don't know what the frickin' AI mattress does. Like what the flip are you? Get out of here. We're the same exact person except for the weebness. Well, you don't you're telling me you don't put cat ears on your on your persona? Now that your persona has cat ears, you're healed in love. Yeah. Yeah. If you don't already have a... Okay, let's talk about that, actually. That's a good point. Would I enjoy this device if I was not in the Apple ecosystem? I think I'd enjoy it less if I didn't have an iPhone, at least. I don't really use my MacBook. I still don't use my MacBook. Sorry, Apple. I'm sorry, that probably got me blacklisted saying that. But, like... this headset has no I/O. None. Like, there's no USB-C. There's nothing. If you want to get files onto it, you pretty much need a device that has AirDrop, as far as I can tell. Like, what the flip? What? Oh yeah, yeah. Panther has a point. There's I/O for the price of $299. There's a little developer strap that they sell that adds a USB 2.0 dongle to the right side. USB 2.0 for $300. That should tell you whether or not you should buy this if you're not in the Apple ecosystem. You should not. In fact, I feel like again, I have the MacBook, I have the watch. I feel like this device, more than any single one before it, pushes you more to want to like dive into the ecosystem than any other product. It's a trap. This headset is a trap. It's a trap. They give you all the like the services for free too, right? When you boot up the headset, they're like, hey, Apple Music is installed. Hey, Apple TV is installed. Blah 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 blah. iCloud is installed. Oh, buy all the subscriptions. And then you're like, oh, well, crap. What do I do now? buy the Magic Trackpad. Oh, a funny thing actually, by the way. Another thing about the device, I keep doing that. So like, if you have it's related to the Magic ecosystem thing. If you have a Magic keyboard, which I do not, they'll do the thing where like you start. So if you start typing, from a I'm not set to Bluetooth mode. So if you start typing right from your keyboard, your physical keyboard, this window would be here on a Magic Keyboard, because the idea is, oh, you don't have to look up when you're typing, and they'll like also track. Now this keyboard used to have white keys earlier in the week, and the funny thing is sometimes the computer vision would think that this is a Magic Keyboard because it was like white keys, like the aluminum background. So sometimes it would track. Oh, it would almost track. So, yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Now Apple engineers are gonna be like, okay, we're gonna fix that. We're not. Yeah, dual solo works for me. Again, only because like not like it's expensive, but again, it's like the fact that I can switch between I can tighten, loosen two different parts of my head is why I think this strap mod is a really good idea. Until we get something better. I know someone did a Bobo mod to it, but I don't like Halo straps very much, and I kind of like the facial gasket. Oh, there's another thing. I saw people online, they were taking the facial gasket off and like smashing the lenses to their face. So it does give you more FOV, but also you can see the edges of the display. And I also noticed the binocular overlap in the center looks really bad for my face when I smash it up to my eyes. So that's why I don't like doing that. Yeah, I wish this was Wi-Fi 6E. Does it do anything with DualSense? Yeah, so my DualSense ran out of battery, but you can connect it. You can connect an Xbox controller or DualSense to the headset and then like play Apple Arcade games or like even Steam Link. It will communicate the controller's inputs and joysticks to Steam Link on my PC, so I can just have it directly connected to the headset and then do all that stuff. So it works. Apple has like a team of people that makes that stuff work, surprisingly. I didn't really know that they had support for controllers until this device, but yeah. The Quest Pro sucks for AR. The Quest Pro's AR was really bad. The Quest 3's AR was much better than the Quest Pro's, and then this headset's much better than the Quest 3's. Mainly due to hand occlusion, no warping, and a big thing that's not being talked about much is the latency. The latency of the pass-through, I talked to some people who did like actual professional measurements. The latency of the pass-through is actually that 12 milliseconds that they advertise. Actually advertise 12 milliseconds. It does run that way. Now Quest 3, the chip inside Quest 3 does advertise 12 milliseconds, but that's a Snapdragon thing. Most of the time you get like 50 milliseconds or more on the Quest 3. So like the latency on this is much more natural, and I feel a lot more confident cooking in it because of that, for example. I've tried hand occlusion on the Quest 3. It's not good. It actually made me nauseous because it was a demo app. What was the demo app? It was I think it's called hand what is their hand tracking demo? There's a little game that they have, hands I don't know. But so they did the occlusion. It wasn't as good. It was not as good cut at like this. And also, because it's your hands on the pass-through for Quest 3, it had bad cutting out and it had the warping too. And when I looked at my hands on this like hand-focused demo that they were showing me, that made my brain feel bad. First hand. Yeah, first hand. Yeah, you can try it. First hand literally has occlusion and whatever, if you want to try it today on your Quest 3. And you'll see, just, it made me feel weird. It made me feel weird. Linus Tech Tips that can you avoid throwing things at you? I mean, yeah, the latency is really good. It's something that's not talked about, but like it's because consumers. I think this the camera pass-through thing is still very, you know, unknown in the eyes of consumers. There's still not like any standardized benchmarking and stuff, but like, yeah. Does a low latency fix nausea? I never feel like I felt nauseous much in Quest 3, at least for me, even though the latency was higher than Vision Pro, but it made me more comfortable, again, doing like everyday tasks, right? Like the low latency adds more functionality to the pass-through than just like, hey, I can see my wall or my desk sometimes. Oh, you got, yeah, I get nausea from the warping too. Again, but it was only with the Quest 3 warping with the cutout. That's the only time I got nausea from the pass-through. Like, the Quest 3 pass-through is usable, but it's still not perfect, right? Do I think the Vision Pro will get games? I honestly think if you're not playing games like this, there is one game I was playing. It's kind of cringe. I was playing Honkai Star Rail in the Vision Pro. Giant big screen Honkai Star Rail using my PlayStation controller. If you're a weeb, you probably know that game. But yeah, that runs on device. That runs on device. Oh no. Maybe one day I'll do like gacha gambling streams for my Vision Pro. Anyway. Favorite Naruto hand sign? Oh my god, I can't remember. Dude, I was a big Naruto fan, actually. Like, I remember even, I was like that cringe kid in middle school that would like, I would play with my friend. He was the Sasuke, I was the Naruto. He'd do this, he'd do the Chidori, and I'd do the Rasengan sort of thing. Yeah, I'm that cringe kind of guy. By the way, I hate Sasuke. That's like the worst character in any anime. I did not Naruto. Okay, I wasn't that bad. I did not Naruto run. Who won? That's a good question. I think we take turns winning. I think that's how we did it. It wasn't middle school. It was actually like elementary school, actually. How's the 3D effect with HDR brightness? So, I didn't. Okay, let's talk about that. So 3D. Okay, let's talk about the different. So Apple Immersive Video, not impressive to me personally. I didn't think it was like there's only like 3 of them, or maybe there's more, but there's not many of them. It's basically 180 stereoscopic at high quality, not spatial videos. I'm talking about immersive video. Spatial video is a different thing. I was not that impressed with it personally. I was much more impressed with the actual 3D movies, like the standard format 3D movies. I thought that was actually more 3D than the immersive video format. Spatial videos look okay. I can't show. Okay, unfortunately, I can't show the movie experience because while I'm streaming, it applies a DRM protection. It applies a DRM protection on any of the movies I play, so it'll like black out the entire thing. It's really funny. It's really funny. I think I can get past that with oh, I can watch trailers? Okay, let's try that then. Do these have trailers? Do these have trailers? I'm not even sure. I'm guessing the immersive videos do not have trailers. I don't see a trailer for that. Yes? DRM protection on video recorded. All right, let me find something real quick. Actually, maybe I'll use the Disney Plus app. But you want? I don't even know. I don't even want to show it to you because you can't see the 3D effect on flat. How much did the Vision Pro features? So I think if Valve releases a headset, I think they've been like doing a lot. So I've made videos about this. GameScope. GameScope is their very light running compositor that they use on Steam Deck. That's how they do like all the cool stuff to make it run very low latency at any resolution, blah 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 blah. There's been a lot of stuff that allows you to run a GameScope compositor as an own SteamVR overlay. The reason why that's important is because on Windows, the actual Windows PC ecosystem is really bad. I'll just leave it at that. It's really bad for this. It's really bad. Like, it works. Like, there's a lot of good overlay programs, but they basically have to tap into Windows, like, I forget what it's called, like some sort of like, obviously like video capture to playback thing, like kind of like a local streaming thing, and it adds latency. If you ever have the admin panel pop up, it screws that up. Whereas the compositor is like basically like this. Like if there was a GameScope compositor on a Deckard, it would literally be like opening its own app in its own instance. And what's cool is like Valve's been like working on like making all the features like they added a beta feature on the GitHub that allows you to apply what's that called? The shaders. You can apply the shaders. I can't remember the name of the tool. But yeah, I think that's what they would be like focusing on, is like standalone to run overlays on device and like maybe stream from a PC. At least that's what I hope. If they did something, that's what it would be. GameScope's not resizable. So like I don't think GameScope's resizable, but I think they would be able to set a resolution right now, and like at least you'd be able to scale it at a point. So yeah. What limitation? There wasn't too many limitations really. Reshade. Yeah, reshade. You can apply reshade to GameScope. They kind of built in like a preliminary support. So like imagine, you can start applying like a CRT shader or like a sharpening shader to this game. I can see Valve doing stuff like that, in my opinion. So do you think this is more than you wanted than Deckard? That's a good one. I think people notice that I don't talk about Deckard much anymore, especially after I got this headset. It's because like, hey, I think Apple did it pretty well. I think Apple nailed it pretty well. I can't play games in it though. I can't do VR chat in it very easily yet, but that seems to be rectified pretty soon. So yeah. No, there's no explorable environments. Yeah, I tried using. I talked about that earlier. I did try SteamVR. Do you think Valve still wants to do finger tracking? Yeah. I think if Valve does do a headset, like I think this is gonna be the standard, by the way. Like the people that are like kind of saying like, oh, this sucks. I don't think it sucks. I think this like, I talked about inputs earlier in the stream, but like I think that this in combination with the legacy inputs really makes it you feel like you have superpowers, and that's what I wanted from like an XR computing device. It's not gonna do, yeah. So yeah, that's a good point. So if I do ALVR, it's basically a standing experience for SteamVR. You have to be in the center of your room. It like maps the center of your SteamVR play space, and you have to be in that spot. You can move a tiny bit. It does still have 60 OF. It's kind of hard to explain because you can still like, move your head in SteamVR. I would show it. I would live demo it right now, but the problem is I'm already streaming so much that I think it'll just literally break everything. It's like a stationary SteamVR thing. Still has 60 OF, but you can't really move around your room. There's no room scale. So yeah. Hi Gamertag. GT got to, so here I'm glad GT's here because GT got to go to Mike VR Oasis's house. He made a video about it. And I think a lot of people that are here that are like VR gamers or just gamers in general, you should watch his video because again, I'm a weirdo in a headset that does everything that this headset's advertising, where it's very, one, it's not really new, but it does what everything is doing very well, but it's also not a gaming machine. Like as a weirdo, this thing hits almost the dream headset territory for me. And I hope other companies, like I hope the Samsung Google headset, I hope that does work. Like I hope they get near this. Because I think a lot of people are also in the Android ecosystem more than Apple. And if people like start getting like cheaper headsets and like their ecosystem that they're already in, they'll start seeing it. But for people that are like gamers, there's nothing here for you. There is nothing here for you if you're like a gaming focused person in VR. I also kind of think Google and Samsung are rushing it. But that's kind of always been Samsung's prerogative, personally. I think Samsung knows how to make Samsung will probably make an amazing hardware when they come out. I'm more worried about the Google side. I'm really worried about the Google side more than anything. I think Samsung, they're making, again, maybe I'm biased because I think Samsung made the correct investment in terms of display technology. Like, again, buying that micro OLED company. So I'm biased because I really do think that's really important, especially even using this headset. But yeah, I'm worried about Google. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, someone asked me earlier. Let me show you something. I hope this does not lag. I hope this does not lag. Okay. It might lag. I'm sorry if it lags or something cuts out. This might be the end of the stream, but I really want to show something. Someone pointed out something early in chat that I think is really important. So, you're not going to hear me. I'm going to move across the other side of my house and then come back to my room and see if the windows are still here. Okay? Hey, chat. Someone asked me if this could happen. Oh, you didn't see outdoor? Ah, sorry. I don't know how far. Oh, it broke. Yeah, the stream broke. Well, okay. Basically, my point was I probably would have to record it. I went all the way back to the outside, came back up. Everything's still there. So, yeah, someone wanted me to demo that. Things didn't break. You didn't need to move that far. We saw the snowman on the door. It was the snowman's fault. The snowman is a government psyop. But yeah. No wall occlusion. Yeah, there's no wall occlusion. Oh, you know what's funny about the wall occlusion thing? I've stopped caring about that. I don't even think Meta needs to worry about it. Because the reason why I think that... So, I play a game called Dota 2 a lot. That's kind of like my guilty pleasure. And usually you're like, you queue up with friends, and if you don't hit the accept button when it finds a match, it'll like kind of punish you or penalize you. I went to the bathroom on the other side of the house while we were searching with the headset still on. I know, spatial compooping. It found the match. I heard it find the match, and I can see the window across my house. And because this still interacts like an iPad app, I could actually accept from the other side of the house on the toilet. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, no. So, Windows do not remain persistent between reboots. But they will stay persistent if you just take off the headset, leave it on, like, the sleep mode, and then put it back on. It will remain persistent during that. Galileo was just Steam Deck OLED. I don't know how... I really think if you are serious about XR right now, you kind of have to push the price boundaries up. Because to get to this level, to match this level, I think a lot of companies are going to want to match this level, at least get closer to it. And frankly, I don't think you can do it with that. It does not have screen door. No. There's no screen door effect. No. What do you think about the VR1 starting price? What's my MMR? Dude, I don't even play ranked anymore. At my peak, I was only 4K MMR. At my peak, I was like 4K MMR. So, not that good, just like average, right? Also, I still get impressed with the shadows. So, yeah. Competition will lower the price at the cost for eye tracking for ad data. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Pixels are literally approaching the size of red blood cells. Yeah. If this thing had a screen door effect, I wouldn't be replacing my monitor with it. So, yeah. Thanks for the donation, by the way. I appreciate that. Did I miss any, Oh, I did miss a question. Do you think Visor could compete? I don't want to... So, genuinely, I don't want to talk about Visor until I see me or someone I trust actually use one. I am very cynical when it comes to devices that don't show off prototypes to the public. Even companies who have shown prototypes to the public have gone well. Or bad, I mean. Not gone well. Like no FIO. That index has no FIO. I tried an early prototype almost like 2 years ago. It worked fine. This is the final product there. It's a disaster. Absolutely disaster. I haven't been this excited for an XR HMD or excited for XR since 2016 when I first started VR. Yes, Kevin. That's the last time I've been this excited for the future of XR since 2016. Like genuinely. How much more comfortable is Big Screen Beyond? Oh, Big Screen Beyond is like totally different class of comfort. This thing's giant still. What are some features of apps that are lacking? Good question. Let's think about that. So, I still wish they had mouse support. I know the trackpad works pretty well, but I think the trackpad... I'm starting to wonder if the mouse would just be better still. I'm starting to question that. Trackpad works okay, but like since they already have the cursor, I don't know why they don't just add this mouse support. Visor says they have major hardware partners. Yeah. Again, it might be real, but like I'm always on the ear of caution because when any company asks for your money, I think at that point you really should like I know they have like the whole refund policy thing, but yeah. Virtual hand tracking? What do you mean virtual hand tracking? Virtual hand tracking. What do you mean? It has... you'll have to go into more detail about that. What do you think mainstream VR? Dude, I still don't think VR... Like, what I'm doing with this device, I don't see mainstream... Like, I don't see everyday consumers doing it until, like, 2035, maybe. This is an early adopter thing. This use case... This is still an early adopter enthusiast thing. And I don't see that happening... I don't see that changing for 10 years still. Personally. Oh, here's Giguden. Honestly, I do want virtual desktop on here. Because even though Steam Link has been like a okay situation, virtual desktop will obviously be like, I'm very sure way better than this. Yeah. How long till Oh, Meta has been working on rushing to productize some version of avatars, of codec avatars. And I think people will be shocked to see that their research that they've been showing on codec will not match the product. The final product that they release. In fact, let's think about like codec for a little bit, because for those who do not know, by the way, it is crazy. It is crazy to compare research to a released product. When people saw personas and they were like, oh, Meta has codec avatars, they look way better. You are crazy. You are insane. Because those are scanned with like super advanced rigs. They did show off a version. They did show off a version where they use a phone. But like, none of those codec avatars were ever running on HMD, were never generated on HMD, all that stuff. They're just research demos in-house. You cannot compare something that is released to a same thing with the mirror lake concept. That drove me nuts too. What is that? What it's called? The mirror. Let's see. I think it's called Mirror Lake concept. This drove me up a freaking wall. This made me so upset, like genuinely. Yeah, people saw the Vision Pro being still bulky, and they started comparing it to this. Like, oh my god, Meta's got an amazing headset. Look how thin it is. Even though this is a concept. It's a concept. This is a freaking CGI render. Freaking CGI render, dude. Not even real. Not even a real prototype. It's just like a thing that they say they can possibly build with a certain amount of money. Drives me nuts. Are you talking about the next generation micro OLED? I don't think Samsung will get that commercialized until... What are we at? I think 2026 is probably when you're going to see that displays in products. The RGB. I think that's what their target is, I've heard. Which will be perfect for like the Vision Pro too. Like, the industry thinks that the cheaper version of Vision Air or Lite, whatever, they think that will release the end of next year. And then they think a full Vision Pro 2 will be 2027. So I think Samsung's really working hard to get that technology in the next Vision Pro. And 2026 is their target. So, how's the multitasking? Again, fantastic. That's why I like it. It's like it's a device that I can use it. I can use it. It's not a toy. It doesn't, that's the thing. This device doesn't feel like a toy to me. Those devices kind of do. Like the other standalone devices, they're great. They do their job well. They're fantastic entertainment gaming machines, but they still feel like toys. That's what people are saying. That's what people are saying. Can Sharp QDEL? No, QDEL. No. So quantum dots have a huge problem with scaling down to this tiny pixel sizes. You get a lot of something called crosstalk, which they kind of like the rays kind of go this way, right? So the colors get all messed up when you get that small. I don't think you're barely seeing QDEL in like big screen TVs. Okay, here's the way you should always think of display technology. Think about when someone has a display technology mass produced at big TV sizes. If they're still super expensive and low volume at big TV sizes, they're probably even harder to do at micro display sizes, if that makes sense. Like micro LED TVs, they're starting to get a little more mature, right? Like they're getting cheaper, but they're still really hard to make. They're still really expensive. Getting that technology to micro displays is even like way harder, way harder. For something like what you would want to put in a Vision Pro, because the Vision Pro is like 23 million pixels across 2 displays. Getting that micro LED on silicon technology to that level is impossible right now. So, yeah. No, there's no way to it's not a waterproof headset. I don't think there is a way to protect it from that. AVP, your favorite child? Almost my favorite child. Let me show you my favorite child again. Let me find my favorite child. Here's my favorite child. That's my favorite child right there. The nut. Oh, I'll show you another picture, actually, now that we're, like, Now that we're like being personal with our photos. Oh. Oh, by the way, I put my this is my dog with the cat ears from Hey Siri, open persona settings. Oh. That's another problem. Siri still kind of sucks in my opinion. Like, I don't know, man. Siri has never been useful on my phone. It's slightly more useful in the headset, but it still sucks. Yeah, I put my cat ears on my dog. A little bit cursed, probably. Do you notice the flickering when I laugh? I didn't notice. Sorry. Okay, let me find, By the way, I made this thumbnail in my Vision Pro with only Vision Pro apps. That's kind of like my goal for this month. If I release a video or do anything related to Vision Pro, even my 1 month later review, I'm gonna edit it all on the headset, no external PC. That's my challenge to myself. So there's another funny thing about my dog. Oh, here's me running VR chat, by the way, on Vision Pro, through ALVR. So you can still see there's like a lot of like internet stutters still, and it still like renders the hands on top of things, which is kind of funny. Like, you know, if you head pat someone or give them the little finger, you're actually like giving them the middle finger with your real finger. So yeah, very interesting. It works. Asterisk next to that. Oh, here's more pictures of me with the funny bonnet. That's the word, bonnet. Oh yeah, there we go. VR nut. VR nut. Okay. Wait, what about external keyboard? What? Oh, what microphone? Okay. I wish I could use the built-in microphone for this stream, but I don't think I can. I don't think I'm able to live stream my mic audio to my MacBook, which is where the streaming's really happening. I'm using some random Syntec microphone, which is like a cheap Chinese microphone. Yeah. The microphone's really good on this headset, by the way. There's 6 microphones. There's a 6 microphone array. When I'm like in Discord talking to people, my wife can literally come up to me, scream in my ear, and the people in Discord call cannot hear her. They cannot hear her when I'm using the microphone in this. I don't know, it's wild. My brain, crazy. Better than Beyond? I mean, it's just good. Like, it's really good, yeah. What do you think is missing or something you wish it had? I mean, controllers. I wish I had an option for controllers, for sure. And, brighter displays still. Yeah, I think those are the main things. I still want the displays to be able to run at a lower persistence. That's my biggest complaint with the headset. You're gonna hear that a lot. I want it to be lower persistence. She can scream in your ear, but should she? No, unless you're into that. What's the binocular overlap? I think it's better than Quest 3. I'm gonna do measurements later today. I just haven't been able to do it. Do you think there's any needs of gloves? Okay, so yeah, let's talk about keyboard. Let's talk about keyboard for a second. Okay. So, this keyboard sucks. If I'm ever using the keyboard, I'm usually using the voice dictate to say, hey chat, you all smell like fish. To say, hey chat, you smell like fish. Oh, I guess you're all Chad. But even then, I still prefer a physical keyboard. Touching things in mid-air still feels really bad. Like, I can't tell if I'm typing stuff. And the eye tracking one, sucks too. This doesn't feel good to do. It doesn't feel right. The only reason why this might like feel better for a personal angle is like the pinch gesture is kind of like smart because it's like creating your own haptic feedback, if that makes sense. Anything that uses this, it's like you're touching something. So that's why this works as a really good click. This works as a really good click. All right, let me read chat. I missed a few things. Love that top strap, looking comfortable. Again, like I don't feel any pressure on my head right now. And if I do feel pressure, I can loosen the top one and like tighten the right back one to change the pressure. Have you tried ale? Yeah, I have tried it. It works, but it's still I would say still a work in progress. I still think they are working on it. And it feels like that. But it works. Like again, I was able to get it working. I would rather have the reverse of the VR chat clip having my virtual. Yeah, I think most people would for sure. And I think you can't. So app developers can choose to actually turn off the occlusion. They're like for example, I believe in the Amaze VR concerts. I'm pretty sure that was the one. They let you they don't do this keying thing, and they actually give you like virtual hands. So you can developers can do it. They just kind of like activate a flag in the developer app. So yeah. There's a lot of ads interrupting a live stream. I'm sorry. I'm not clicking the ads button. I swear to God, I'm not clicking it. I'm not clicking it. You can see what I'm doing. I'm not clicking anything on the stream stuff. Will you buy a Mac one day? I mean, I have a MacBook Pro. I don't plan to buy any more Macs. I'm not interested in using my Mac like at all. This is a M1 Pro, 16 gigabyte, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm not interested in using a Mac still. Sorry, Apple. Sorry. I use YouTube Premium personally. Yeah, I'm a YouTube Premium guy. Someone on Twitter kept asking me to show balloons. It's kind of weird. Do I have to like pick it up? I can't remember how I do this. Let me do it. Like this is super flat. This thing's super flat, but this is 3D. It's really weird to like. It's really weird to move something from a 3D plane to a completely flat one. Like your brain, it feels like this should be 3D rendered too. It's really weird. Your brain just doesn't like it. Your brain really don't like it. Looks like a tablet game. I mean, these are all like iPad games. But I guess this is actually like a Vision OS. Very too simple. Too simple. The frame rate? Is the frame rate bad? Yeah, the frame rate sucks on this too. You're right. I don't know if that's like a headset thing or I think it's a game thing. Because there was another game I was playing. Let me show you the Lego one. The Lego one's pretty sick. I never played this. Again, I don't really play that many games except Dota 2 very often, or VR chat. So, like, these are all very new to me. Come on, Brad, just go all in. I'm not going all in. Have you tried the Resolutions game board game? Yeah, I did try it. It works. I'm not, again, I don't really... Okay, here's a weird thing, because this was not a thing earlier. So, I don't know if it's because I got to a certain point. This used to be all transparent. But for some reason it turned like this weird glow thing, which I don't like. I liked it better when it was just like a transparent game. Maybe there's an option. No, I don't know why this happened. Like, it's like I don't know. But it was a neat game. Yeah, I've been playing Dota 2. Again, I don't have a monitor anymore, so I have to play Dota 2 on my my thing here. Yes, the Synth Riders. I did Synth Riders my first stream, and that's the first thing I noticed was the foveation was really really poor. Really, the whole game is poor on the Vision Pro. Like, I don't think it's a good game on Vision Pro at all. You don't have haptics. The hand latency is like not right. It don't feel right. And like, yeah, the menus like hurt your brain. So I think it's more exaggerated. So people are talking about the ghosting on the pass-through. I think it's way more exaggerated on flat screen than it does for me looking at the headset. Like, it really doesn't look like that to me. I know what you're talking about. I saw the same thing too when I was playing back last week's stream. I was like, wow, that looks way worse. Yeah, this is here. You want to see Windows? This is Windows. How can I make you see it's Windows? I guess by pulling up Windows. Yeah. Windows. Again, not the best app for it, but best I got for now. This stream feels like... I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It's... how's the Vision Pro compare your experience with Vario XR4? So Vario XR4 has a much bigger FOV, much heavier than Vario. I did try their focal edition. The pass-through was probably... It was such a short demo. It's so hard to tell. The Vario XR4 is probably better for what they're going for, I think. But like, I think after buying this headset, I wouldn't want a XR4 personally. I think if you're a simmer, and even if you get ALVR working to play Microsoft Flight Simulator on this headset, I think you would still want an XR4 if you're really in that crazy price range. Can I still fit my face? Yeah, dude, yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Helping, thank you. All right, how long have we been streaming? I guess I didn't measure it. Oh, by the way, like the stream, Smile. Anyway, I don't know how long I've been streaming. Oh, almost 2 hours. Okay. I've not been sharing anything with FaceTime. No, I've been using this as a... Oh, frick. I didn't mean to click that. Awkward. Okay, I've been using this purely as a, like, my own device. I've not been doing much sharing. Yeah, you would think, but I don't know. Will we ever see Brad's eyes again? Yeah. I still think it's unnatural for me to record videos with the persona, probably. And I still think people value the real face when it comes to like YouTube videos. So I still will do like the standardized thing, I believe. I don't know, maybe I'll change them. I don't know. You'll see my face again. So okay. Oh, that's a good question. Recharge time. Let's talk about recharge time because I think the adapter they included. So they include a 30-watt adapter for charging the headset, which I think is actually really crap. I think they should have like doubled that, because the battery can actually charge faster if you have a much stronger charger for it. I'm using like a 96 watt or something crazy, and it like charges so fast, so fast. When do you think, like, I think a true second gen Vision Pro will be like end of like 2027 personally. Charge limit is 50 watts. Yeah, they should have included something like that. I had a 96 watts for my MacBook. That's why I'm using that one or something. But I think the 30 watts, you can notice a difference between charging speed using the included one and using a different one that charges faster at a higher wattage. So that sucks. Brad, eyesight only. Dude, it's so hard to get it on camera. I literally cannot. I literally never cannot. I don't know. What? So they're gonna be using. They're already confirmed to be using the Snapdragon XR2 Plus Gen 2, which I don't know. I think I don't know if you guys saw the teardowns for this headset, but I remember talking to. I remember seeing some chatter online from Qualcomm employees, and they were kind of shocked how big the R1 chip was. Like the R1 chip is actually quite large in the headset, and that's the one that's doing like all the split processing stuff for the cameras and everything. So I don't know. I think yeah. I don't think it's gonna. I personally don't think it's gonna come close. I mean, it'll still do. I think it'll still do better. Like I think this use case doesn't really need to take that much processing if you do the operating system correctly. But yeah, they don't have. So they have their they have the what is it, Snapdragon X Elite chips, which are supposed to be M series competitor, but they didn't bring that to XR yet, which is insanity to me. But yeah, whatever. Mm, let me try that. If there's anything I want you to get from this stream, it's that I think this device actually shows a positive future for XR. The device is profitable, probably, from the hardware. They're definitely not making a loss on the hardware. It's an amazing experience that I think more people than just gamers will be able to adopt when it gets cheaper, and that will come over time. And three, it's a device that I can imagine replacing other units, other devices we use daily, which I never feel like any device got close to that yet. What is going on with the window uh behind the chat? Oh. Oh, do you mean this one? Yeah. If I move the chat window up, it will stop fading it. But it automatically fades stuff if it's behind another window. And I can change the focus by just like clicking on it, right? And then this one becomes transparent. So my Steam Link, my Steam Link display latency is not good right now. When I was not streaming, when I was not doing the AirPlay to this and then streaming and all that stuff, it was under 20 milliseconds, easily under 20 milliseconds at 1440p at 120 hertz, and at 75 megabits per second, easily was fine. I don't know what TapXR is. Oh wait. I feel like what's TapXR again? Can it replace 4K OLED TV? If you're fine with watching stuff alone, yes, in my opinion. Like I think it is a really good TV. Uh, I've been falling asleep. I fell asleep 3 nights in a row, or not in a row. 3 nights this week. I fell asleep watching something on a giant screen. What? These are cursed? They don't look cursed. They're cute. They're cute. I think Quest Pro 2 is on the works for Meta. I just don't know if Meta will be able to nail it that easily. Because if they're still using the same operating system as the Quest 3, which they probably will be, like, I don't know. they still run into the same problems, I think, that the Quest Pro 1. So how does here's another problem I have. Like, how does Meta, so like Quest Pro 1 released with all these hardware features, no one supported it except the PC people that like did support it on like VR chat and stuff. That's the only people that really supported it like day one. On standalone, no one supported it. Because everyone only had the Quest 2. There's no point for developers, to actually support the Quest Pro features if everyone just bought the Quest 2. I don't know how Meta gets out of that trap, personally. Like, they did better with Quest 3 by having more features in it and, like, kind of raising the price up a bit so they can do that. But, like, if they have, seriously, like, a true Quest Pro 2 kitchen sink, like, how do they solve the problem unless they just throw money at developers to do it, like every developer on the store? I don't know how they do it. Like, that's because I want all the hardware to be high end, but like maybe there's no incentive for Meta to do it. Right. They just need to make it super easy. That's probably true, but like I don't think it's ever that easy because they're not using like that like they're using OpenXR, which helps a lot, but I still think even that Like okay, so I don't know if you caught the news recently. So Assassin's Creed Nexus came out. Uh, Still a little loud, really. So Assassin's Creed Nexus came out, and last year, obviously, Ubisoft game. Meta footed some of the bill for the development of that, and even still, the Ubisoft CEO in their last earnings call came out and said that Assassin's Creed Nexus did not sell as well as they hoped, and they don't want to invest more into VR games because of that. Basically, that's basically what they said. They said it's still selling. It sold meh, but nowhere near their expectations. Because I'm guessing these people thought there's 20 million Quest 2s out there, or not Quest 2s, but Quests. If they can even get like a certain number of that, then obviously it's worth it. But they didn't even get that. So like if they can't even get like these big companies to develop for the mass market Quest, how are they going to get developers to develop for the extremely high end stuff on their platform? I'm reading that as more as a CEO throwing a project under the bus, trying to explain their failure to meet was certainly overinflated expectations. But the truth is, like, I don't. But I don't know if it's like over expectations. I think it's more like this is still. I think this is more of a testament that this industry is not ready for like AAA um, levels of development. Because I mean, Ubisoft they've done this for a long time. They've been like probably the biggest supporters of VR from like a AAA development standpoint, and still they can't make any money from it. Um. So yeah, I don't know. Half-Life Alex was amazing, and even Val like it was amazing, but like even that game almost definitely did not make a profit. There's no way that game made a profit. There's no way. Even though like it was probably one of the best selling VR games and like a ton of people bought Valve indexes just to play that game. There's no way I think that that game made like an actual profit, honestly. Don't drive wearing this. If you see people driving while wearing this, they're actually idiots and you should like literally like harass them. I'm not okay. You should be not afraid to say you're stupid for doing that. Also, I think the airplay got laggy. Let me redo the airplay. I don't know if it's gonna work. It's still kind of laggy. Yeah, I don't know why that's happening now. Sorry guys. I do notice that the stream's pretty laggy. Sorry. We'll end the stream pretty soon here. People are wearing AVP in the pool. Look, okay. I think there's a difference between wearing AVP in the pool. Like, look, that's a different kind of silly. But like driving, yeah, yeah. You say yeah. Don't do stuff that can put other people in danger. Like you're a freaking idiot. Like come on. The latency's good, but no, don't. God, not even. Freaking stupid, man. Clowns, yeah. Asgard's Wrath is a great game, but kids don't like it. I don't know. I haven't heard anyone talk about Asgard's Wrath since it came out, really. Like I know it's top of the sales charts, but I think that's kind of inflated because the sales charts include free redemptions that people are getting from buying Quest 3. So it's all fake. Yeah, people walking around with this thing. There's a lot of fake videos of people like doing like this while they're walking around. You have to hold stuff. You still have to hold stuff to walk around like outside with the things. So that's how you can tell if people are faking. After using APP for a while, how do you think you'll feel? I think the biggest things I'll miss, obviously, than the visual clarity. I think I'll miss this a lot. The hand occlusion is so useful. I think people who haven't tried hand occlusion would be shocked of how good this feels to have your hands displayed over digital content like this. Like it also like see this see this I like how I can hide stuff behind my virtual windows but still see my hands. I don't know why. I just kind of like that. Where's my stuff? I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Oh, I just accidentally X'd out my chat like a dingus. Continue the studio. Okay. It's really good. Your mic isn't included? Nope. Even when you hold stuff in your hand, like look, here's my battery. Look at how weird this is. This is so strange that like it like makes the battery mostly transparent. Well, most of the time it does. Yeah, like if you're holding something, it still shows your fingers. It's really weird. Really, really weird. I don't know. That's really weird. Oh wait, no, this is a better. Look when you hold a PlayStation controller. Look at this. It's really, really funny. Like what the flip? You look like you're crazy or something. Can you drag and drop? Yeah. Like if I create. Here, let me create a new tab. YouTube. I can even grab tabs and create new windows. Like let's say you have a Safari window with a bunch of tabs open. You can grab the tab, drag it here. Oh, where'd it go? I think I might. Okay, here we go. Bam. It creates a new window, new Safari window. And then if I want to, let's see. Let me give an example of how I can. I know you can drag photos and stuff to messages, but I don't want to show my messages because that's like personal stuff. Okay, basically if I was uploading a thumbnail, I could drag the picture into the thumbnail upload button and it would attach. So it does like work. It does work. How many windows you can create? Oh gosh. I haven't hit my limit yet. But you can make a lot. You can make a lot. Is it worth the hype? I think it's worth the hype for me. I think it's worth the hype, but it's not like worth. I'm aware. I keep saying this, but it's true. I'm aware that I'm like an extreme enthusiast VR person. For me, it's worth it. Oh, does the elbow? There you go. Here, let me. I think it's better if I show the full environment. For me, it's worth it. Like I am. I originally, I mean, obviously, right? Obviously, I bought the device as like a YouTuber because I wanted to cover it. But like now, the opportunity cost is not even opportunity cost for me. Now it's like a device that I bought and will use daily, which is a big deal. That Quest 3 in the background, I don't really use it that much. Like I bought it, it was fun for a month, but then I went back to my Beyond, I stopped using it. Whereas this, it's like yeah, so it does show your arms environments, so yeah, I did the echoes thing. I did do the echo thing. It's cool. For my use case, right? Like this is what I wanted. I wanted this for sci. I'm obsessed with SteamVR overlays because I kept thinking about this. I've been talking about SteamVR overlays for like 2 years endlessly on my channel. Look at all my videos that are like about SteamVR overlays. Because I wanted this. I wanted it. I wanted it so bad. I wanted it, dude. I wanted it. I'm glad you demoed the thing. I mean, yeah, I think you again, it's something. I think the store demos are pretty garbage. I mean, okay, it's not garbage for people that are new to XR or AR, VR, or whatever. But like people who have been in VR for a while, they go to the store demo. I don't think it works for you. Like I don't think it works for this clientele that are probably here watching, right? If you hadn't been a YouTuber, would you have bought it that price, or were you? Oh, jeez. Um, I mean, I'm also a VR enthusiast, so I probably would have bought it anyway because like this device. Oh gosh, it would have been harder to explain to my wife why I'm buying a $4,000 headset. We'll leave it at that for sure. But hey, if Vision Pro 2 comes out and it's still like $3,500 and like they upgrade the hardware quality immensely because they can, they 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 built this market where high-end hardware and components can be continue to be made. I mean, I will probably buy another one like when that comes out, like no problem. So I don't know. It's a weird yeah. Neckbeard Pro, that's me. That's me. Yeah, yeah, Gooden, yeah. This thing was supposed to release 2 years ago. That's crazy to think about. This thing was supposed to release 2 years ago, guys. The same year that the Quest Pro came out. It was supposed to release. Could you imagine, dude? Could you imagine if this device released the same year as the Quest Pro, and journalists and reviewers had both devices to compare to each other back then? Oh, that would have been wild. Oh, I wish I lived in that universe just to imagine, see it. It's surprising. I think it's surprising because I think people don't expect me to like Apple stuff, especially. I think it's like, and even me, like I'm not an Apple fan. In fact, I watched some videos of Apple fans, like Apple focused channels, reacting to some of this stuff. Like I saw this one clip of someone like they did this to the Safari, and they literally looked like they just like coomed themselves. Like, whereas for me, I see this, right? I see this, and I'm like, that's how it should be. That's not amazing. That's how it freaking should be. Like, it should be doing these things. It should be doing all of these things. I should be able to resize the window like this. I should be able to like bring it up close and automatically makes it small so I can interact with all these things. Like it should be doing all of these things. Hardware and software was not doing all of these things. It made me so angry. That's why I'm impressed with it. I'm not an Apple fan. He said, okay, this is my wife's. This was a gift. I am an iPhone user though. But I originally bought the iPhone. I was a Samsung user. This is a 13 Pro Max, so it's kind of old now. I guess not really. A couple years old. I bought it because, as Guy Godin was saying, people were saying the headset was supposed to come out in 2022. So my point was like, okay, well, I guess I better switch to iPhone because I knew how Apple operates, right? I knew I need to switch to iPhone if I really want the best experience with the headset. So I went from a Galaxy Note 20 Ultra to this. Yeah, that was really the real Apple product that I've been using a lot over the years. Have I seen? I'm honestly so uninterested in phones. I don't give a crap about phones. I feel like they all do the same thing. That was kind of the thing. Is like I switched to the iPhone. It was annoying to switch over ecosystems for sure. Like really annoying. But over time, I was like, this is kind of the same. It's not actually that different than my Samsung phone in terms of what it can do, and I got over it pretty fast. The only things that bothered me the most were getting files off the phone because it did not have USB-C. That pissed me. That still pisses me off with this phone, because it's USB 2.0 speeds on Lightning for that phone, which is garbage, absolute garbage, useless, awful. How do you put ProRes video on a phone? Let's say you take a 10-minute video with ProRes 4K. That's going to be like a 200 gigabyte video. Maybe even more than that. Transferring a 200 gigabyte video through USB-C or USB 2.0, it's torture. Most of the time it failed. Most of the time it failed because the phone would overheat from trying to transfer that data to my PC. Freaking unbelievable. That was awful. That was terrible. Yeah, actually, that's why that's one reason we got the MacBook. Actually, this is the Apple trap I was talking about. My wife wanted a MacBook. We got one because I was thinking to myself, okay, well, it's so annoying to get files off this thing. I guess I gotta buy a MacBook or something that can airdrop stuff to it. And then I got a MacBook, and then whenever I went to CES or something, I was able to record ProRes video and airdrop it to the PC. It was like 100 times faster than using the USB-C or USB 2.0, which that pissed me off, of course. That made me disgusted. But yeah, you're meant to upload it from your iCloud. Okay, when I upload stuff to my iCloud and I download it from my iCloud, it most of the time I feel like it's. I mean, I guess it's from the photos. I don't know. I don't use the cloud stuff much. I honestly don't. You're right. Feather Feather monitors are for cavemen. There, I'm saying it. The loss of the audio jack? Yeah. I was good about the audio jack thing too back then. But I usually watch stuff with speakers. I know it's like not everyone can do that, but like even on my PC, I never put headphones on anymore. I kind of got tired of it having stuff on my ears. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think Kaz kind of highlights it. I don't want to go through cloud just to access local files. When I have both devices here, I should be able to move the files instantly. That's what's yeah. It's boring. Yeah, it's boring to be locked. I agree. Yeah, it is boring. That low battery chime. Here, will this make you better? Oh, I'm. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Share moment. Is there anything else you guys want to ask me? I want to end the stream. I think we kind of hit most of what I wanted to talk about. It's hard to think of negatives because like I don't know. I really have been enjoying the device. I know it's expensive and like out of reach for most consumers. I'm aware of this, but it's made me really happy that it exists. Like it makes me so happy that this exists, guys. Like holy crap. I don't think I could I don't think I could have lasted another 2 years being in this XR thing if a device didn't like this did not come up. Like honestly, that's how I feel. Is FOV really bad? I mean, I don't think I'll do FOV measurements later. How is scrolling on it's fine. Like actually here's the surprising thing. I actually think scrolling doing this feels more natural to me than doing the touchpad scroll when I'm using the touchpad. I actually think this is really good for scrolling. YouTube VR? I don't know anything about it. I mean, there's no YouTube app for Vision Pro. Why don't I like Halo straps? Mainly because okay, a lot of Halo straps make the headset hover in front of you, and when you shake your head or move your head, there's always a little bit more settle time, unless you really tighten it. Whereas facial interfaces with are like the Apple facial interface is like the index to me. Like you just like kind of have it resting on your face and it holds the displays there. So there's not much of that settle going on. Now, if this thing had lower persistence displays, that would be even better. It just feels like kind of a waste for a lot of these headsets to have very low persistence displays and then kind of ruin that by like shaking, like having the HMD kind of shake like micro amounts while you move your head, if that makes sense. It's not smaller than Quest 2. I really don't think. I think the vertical might be the same as Quest 2 feeling, but I think the horizontal is wider than Quest 2. I really don't think it's I think people forget how small Quest 2 FOV really is. It's like a complete circle almost. And it's like 93 by 93 or something like that. I wish it had more vertical for sure, especially on the low. I surprisingly, it seems like that they have more. It seems like they have more focus on the higher, taller upper part of the FOV than the bottom, which is really surprising to me. I'm guessing it's because they expect people to raise their virtual monitors most of the time above a little bit rather than below. So they made that trade-off. Why Apple make a headset but no gaming? Because some companies think that VR gaming is kind of like how do I put this? So I'll say I'll frame it a different way. Some companies think that XR can do more than just gaming. Some companies think that XR can literally be like a computing device, like a general computing device. So, yes. Most people only play VR daily. Only play like a handful of games. Yeah, I mean, I only played VR chat. I don't even say play VR chat. Like VR chat wasn't a game to me, by the way. VR chat was a social, just it's just a social thing, and that's actually my biggest complaint about the Vision Pro. There's no social anything about it. The only social thing about it is like if you have your like your dog with you. It's kind of sad, but like there's no social VR. You can FaceTime people, but that's like really weird. Like I think, um, yeah, I don't think I really don't expect Apple to release hand controllers. By the way, I think if they release anything, it would be like a stylus for like art stuff because I could imagine a world where you use like remember the Quest Pro controllers? People forget this, but the bottom of the Quest Pro controllers, it came with this little pencil nib. This little pencil nib that you'd be able to use to draw directly on like a table or something for like sketching and stuff. I could totally see Apple doing something like that. No one ever I don't know anyone that ever used that stylus in the Quest Pro controllers. Or something like this new Sony HMD has. Yeah, I think the Sony HMD is like really kind of nailing it with their input for their use case. Social is limited to other Vision Pro owners. Yeah, kind of. But like even if you have other even I just don't think talking to flat windows with people in them, I don't find that very social. I think it's like I think social VR is a really good embodiment of like even if I can just pop in VR chat avatars in my space, that would add a lot more than this. That's the one thing I think Meta is completely right about compared to Apple. I think the way they do social in XR is 100% right. I think they're nailing it with what they're trying to do, even if the processing and like stuff they want to do is not there yet. I think they're way better off. Like you can just tell that Meta is a social media or a social networking company, right? You can just tell, and they're right about it. They're right. This is not. Yeah, this is not really it. Yeah, has it have they updated workrooms like at all much? Like, yeah, that's again that's why I like this. Like, I always call them overlays because it's kind of what they are, right? Like, they're overlays in your environment or your VR environment, and they're persistent between the two. Oh, it looks like I crashed the VR environments, by the way. This has happened before. There's a lot of little bugs still in the software. Um, and here's yeah, that's busted. It knows it's busted too. Let's see if I can change to another one or if it's still busted. I guess that was the one I was on. Yeah, it's busted. Yeah. Like the virtual environments, I've con the virtual environments that come on the Vision Pro, I've gotten used to them, but they still feel very lonely and sterile to me. Even though they're like obviously like real places and like really pretty nature environments. Um, there's no way that works. Someone just said something in chat. I need to test. There's no way that works. I refuse to believe it. How would they wouldn't even know. They wouldn't even know. It's like kind of impossible to know. Hold on. Where is my phone? Thank you for the great stream today. Thank you for being on the stream. I know it's not very that interesting, but like when I think you kind of need to do these long streams to kind of show why this is useful. Because like you can see I'm doing everything on the headset, right? Like I've not touched really my MacBook or my PC. I wanted to show that I can do most things in the headset when I did this stream. That was kind of my point and my goal into doing this. So I don't even know what is reflective technically. It's really kind of annoying. So that's another thing. I don't like how the models you like turn these. Yeah, I don't think it does anything like that. I don't think it, like generates the lighting maps correctly, like someone thought in chat. Because obviously, like if it did do that, it would have to like calculate it maybe once per time. But I don't like how you turn 3D. Like I want to be able to grab it and turn it, but instead it's doing like the weird this, and I don't think that feels as natural as just grabbing it and turning it. Oh. Hello? All right, my headset just crashed. Oh, it did like a full reboot. Holy crap. All right. I think we hit the jackpot now. Oh. Wow, it continued my stream. Okay. That's weird. Yep, I think we hit the limits for how much this can handle for now. That's a good way to end it. That's a good way to end it. I am on the 1.1 beta, yeah. But I think this would have happened even if I wasn't, because again, I was streaming the PC to the headset with Steam Link, streaming the AirPlay view to here, and then it's kind of a lot. So all right, everyone. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed. 32.9 not coming back. No, I'm serious. I am serious when I say I'm gonna use this full time as a monitor. That is not like me memeing. I am serious. All right. Bye, everyone.